WWE SummerSlam 2024 comes to you live this Saturday. At the time of recording, which is Thursday evening, 7 matches have been announced for the card. A big 6 of those matches are title matches, so only one non-title match, but even that is a deeply personal, heated rivalry. So should be a spectacular card. Lots of potential title changes, lots of potential swerves, returns, and a lot more. This is my official predictions for SummerSlam 2024. First of all, in the one non-title match on the card, CM Punk goes one-on-one with Drew McIntyre with Seth Rollins as the special guest referee. So this is a really difficult match to call right away. Obviously there's the Seth Rollins element makes this a really difficult one to predict for exactly what's going to happen. On Monday Night Raw just gone, he gave his referees rules, or whatever they called it, and basically what I'm assuming is it's going to be a no holds barred match. There's going to be no count outs, no disqualifications, anything's going to go pretty much, because I think the story will be that Seth just wants to see them both tear each other apart essentially, and he'll have fun watching them do it. However, it doesn't have to be a winner, it could be a no contest, but I am going to go over winner. I'm going to say Drew McIntyre will beat CM Punk, and the reason behind this is I think the match that we'll get further on down the line past this match will be Punk versus Rollins. Obviously we've already had Rollins versus Drew at WrestleMania just gone, so we've done that singles match. So the next feud for Punk to move into logically would be a one-on-one match with Seth Rollins, or potentially a triple threat with Drew involved, if that's your jam. But I think the reasons with Punk costing CM Punk his only shot at the World Heavyweight Championship at Money in the Bank, I believe it was. Yes, because Drew cashed in and then Punk essentially handed Priest the match by attacking McIntyre. So I think Rollins obviously was very upset by that. That's been something they've referred to and mentioned. So I think he'll take this opportunity to exact his revenge on CM Punk, costing him the match and handing the win to Drew McIntyre. Next up, the Intercontinental Championship is on the line. Sami Zayn will defend against Bron Breakker. So this is going to be the first title change of the night for me. I'm going to be taking Bron Breakker to become the new Intercontinental Champion. I just think it's time to bring an end to Sami Zayn's Intercontinental Championship reign. Nothing against Sami Zayn, I really like Sami Zayn, but I think his title reign has felt a little bit lackluster, and I'm not quite sure why. I think it's because all of the opponents he's been against, it's felt like he should lose, particularly with Chad Gable, and now the last pay-per-view, Bron Breakker probably should have beat him. They've held off, but now is the right time to do it. So I've struggled to get behind Sami Zayn, which is obviously not ideal when he's meant to be the ultimate underdog babyface. I've just struggled to get behind him. I wanted Gable to beat him, and now I want Bron Breakker to beat him. I think he is worthy of the Intercontinental Championship. I think obviously he's very fresh to the main roster, but just give him that ultimate push, put a title on him straight away. Obviously I'm sure there is world title thoughts and pictures down the line for Bron Breakker, and typically, or going back sort of 20 odd years or so, the Intercontinental Championship was used as a tool to test someone out before putting them straight into the world title picture. Sort of what we've just done with Gunther over the last couple of years. So I think we'll do the exact same with Bron Breakker, give him a good solid Intercontinental Championship run, and then eventually we'll move him out of that scene and into the world title scene. So for now, Bron Breakker to become the new Intercontinental Champion. Logan Paul will finally defend his United States Championship when he goes one-on-one with LA Knight. Yeah. So I am going crazy with the title changes on this pay-per-view. Will there be more? Stay tuned to find out. But I'm going to be taking LA Knight, to become the new United States champion. I've enjoyed Logan Paul's run. I've gone on record on this YouTube channel many a time saying how much I enjoy Logan Paul. I think he's perfect for the WWE world. I wish he would defend his belt a little bit more often, but that's the price you pay of having a sort of celebrity-ish person holding one of your titles. Obviously, they're not going to be showing up on TV and on every single pay-per-view, but nonetheless, I have enjoyed his title reign despite the lack of defences. As for LA Knight, we've sort of been on this really steady progression with LA Knight over the last year or so. Obviously, he won the Slim Jim Battle Royal as sort of been his only crowning moment. That was at last year's SummerSlam, I believe. So it feels like it's really time now that we actually give LA Knight something. And the United States Championship, if I could speak properly, the United States Championship, I think is the perfect prize to give to LA Knight. I don't see him into the world title picture at the moment. I think there's too many bigger feuds going on that don't involve him. So for the time being, I think the United States Championship is the perfect place for him. He can defend that belt regularly. He can make it feel really important, sort of as, you know, the megastar that he is, or kayfabe, the megastar that he is. He can bring a lot of eyeballs to the United States Championship, get it on TV every week, get it defended in some really good feuds. And yeah, LA Knight is amazing. He deserves the United States Championship for the great year that he's had. So let's give it to him at SummerSlam. LA Knight, the new United States Champion. Next up, the WWE Women's Championship will be defended when Bayley goes one-on-one with the Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax. So I am going to actually go for a title retention here. I'm going to be taking Bayley to retain her championship. The main reason being Tiffany Stratton, of course, currently holding the Miss Money in the Bank contract. She is in this team allegiance, whatever you want to call it, with Nia Jax at the moment. We've seen a slight little seed of tension between the two because obviously they're both gunning for Bayley and that women's championship. So I think what we could see happen is Tiffany will come down to the ring during the match, go to try and cash in. Obviously Nia will see this, get very upset, sort of be like, what are you doing? Get out of here. Bayley then either turns her around for the rose plant or just rolls her up, pins her in some way very quickly to sneakily get a win over Nia Jax. That protects Nia, and it also gives a bit more tension to the Tiffany and Nia storyline. So I think the logical idea here is for Bayley to retain her WWE Women's Championship. In what arguably should be the main event, or should be in my eyes, the Women's World Championship will be defended as Liv Morgan goes one-on-one with Rhea Ripley. Now, this storyline has been fantastic. I waxed lyrical about it in my video last week when I spoke about the options behind the main event for SummerSlam this year. And I also mentioned in that Liv Morgan has to retain the championship. And I stand by that. I'm going to be taking Liv Morgan to retain her Women's World Championship. Why? Because ultimately, if she doesn't, the storyline's done and it's a bit stupid, really. Obviously, she's done this whole Liv Morgan revenge tour thing. She took everything from Rhea, or she tried to at least. She took the title, she tried to take Dom. Rhea has, for the time being at least, taken Dom back. So if she immediately takes her title back as well, then this all sort of feels like a bit of a waste of time. Speaking of Dom, I think, and I feel like it's quite a popular opinion online as well, I think he should turn on Rhea, and I think he should align himself with Liv Morgan. I think the whole thing of that Liv has actually given Dom what he wants in terms of he finally beat Rey Mysterio, obviously his dad. she gave the rest of the Judgment Day the tag titles. So she's actually been a really valuable asset to everyone within the Judgment Day. And Rhea has sort of, for Dom at least, always just been this big protector, but at the same time, not really giving him wins, if that makes sense. Obviously, he had the North American Championship, which he played a little bit of a part in, but the main goal that he's had really was the whole storyline with his dad, and with Rhea, he never got that story done. He aligns with Liv, and all of a sudden he gets that win. So I think a really logical move here would be to have Dom turn on Rhea and align himself with Liv Morgan, allowing her to retain her Women's Championship. Damian Priest will defend the World Heavyweight Championship when he goes one-on-one with Gunther, the Ring General and the King of the Ring winner. So as I just mentioned, the way we came round to this match was, of course, through Gunther winning the King of the Ring tournament. That's how we ended up here. And I think we're going to give Gunther another big win. We're going to have Gunther take the World Heavyweight Championship. I've really enjoyed Damian Priest's World Heavyweight Championship run. I think I've mentioned in other videos before, he's sort of slowly, organically turning into a really likeable babyface. I think it's working really well for him. I think he has a good presence with the championship, and he's sort of evolved out of being sort of one of the side pieces in the Judgment Day to now, if he left that group, he could legitimately stand on his own as a bona fide main event top card talent, which he deserves to be because he's great. He's a good talker, he's a good wrestler, he's got the whole deal. But how should Gunther win the title? I think this could be a sort of entire collapse of the Judgment Day, potentially. So I think Finn Balor should cost Gunther the World Heavyweight Championship. We've had little seeds of dissent thrown between the two sort of over the last 2 or 3 months now. Obviously, Gunther is holding the championship that Balor spent so many months trying to win from Seth Rollins. And I think they have mentioned it before, and I think that's something that eats Balor up, and ultimately he'll snap, he'll have enough, and he'll attack Gunther, take that title away from him. And I think it's really important to remember that the next time WWE is on a premium live event, it will be the Bash in Berlin premium live event. Obviously, Gunther has a massive history in the European scene, so he's going to go into that event as, you know, the ultimate face of that card, I would assume. So having the world title on him going into that, carrying the championship into an event in Europe, I think makes a lot of sense. So for all of those reasons, I'm taking Gunther to win the World Heavyweight Championship. Last but by no means least, the undisputed WWE Championship is on the line as Cody Rhodes defends against Solo Sikoa. Now, I'm sure this will be the main event, as I mentioned in my video last week. It shouldn't be, but I'm pretty sure it will be. And I also think it's not easy to predict, because I actually really nearly went with Solo Sikoa to win this match, purely from like what I would like to see and not what I think will happen. I think Cody will retain. I think that's quite certain, but I think actually putting the title on Solo makes a lot of sense and could then sort of help to really establish this bloodline as the dominant force, because weirdly enough, it's sort of like Solo is the least effective in-ring talent out of all of them, when in reality he should be the best in the sort of structure of the bloodline. But people like Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga have all sort of outshone him in terms of in-ring work. Obviously, those two are now the #1 contenders for the tag titles. So I think putting the title on Solo would really help him. I don't think they will. I'm taking Cody Rhodes to retain the championship. Potentially we see Randy Orton return, Kevin Owens return, and maybe take out the bloodline. to help Cody Rhodes win. But nonetheless, I think Cody will retain. However, Roman Reigns is the part of this match that appeals to me the most. Will he return? Basically, is the question we're asking. I think if he does, it'll be the closing shot of the show will be Roman's return. I don't think he will. I've seen some reports online potentially that they're not going to yet. They just don't want to. I think it makes sense to do it now. I think SummerSlam is, probably it's their second biggest pay-per-view premium live event of the year behind WrestleMania. It's not as good as the Royal Rumble, but in terms of the way they build it, it's their second biggest show. So it's the perfect place for Roman to return. However, I just don't think they're going to do it yet. I think we'll have the baby faces standing tall, Cody Rhodes closing out the show, holding up the WWE Championship. But of course, I hope Roman returns and I hope it's very soon. If it is in this match, fantastic. Obviously, I would imagine if he did return during this match, he will not align himself with Cody, but there'll be a moment where he sort of looks him in the eyes. Everyone thinks, oh, he's going to attack Cody. Solo will then sort of pop up behind Roman. Roman will turn around and attack Solo. But nonetheless, I'm taking Cody Rhodes to retain, and those are my official predictions for WWE SummerSlam 2024. Let me know in the comments of the video if you agree with my predictions. Let me know if you disagree and what specifically you disagree with, what matches you don't like. I hope you enjoy SummerSlam. I'm thoroughly looking forward to the show, even though I'll be watching it in the middle of an airport on probably very bad data. I'm really excited for the show. Every single match appeals to me for so many different reasons. All of the stories here have been built amazingly. WWE is cooking right now. It is on absolute fire. Nonetheless, please don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. It would really mean a lot. And subscribe for more weekly wrestling content. And yeah, thank you for watching.